Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I am your watch guy today. Before I start going into this video or anything, I'm just going to let you know now that I'm at the back end of a chest infection. So if I sound a little bit funny or a little bit out of breath, then please do bear with me. I am going to try and edit it as much as I can so I don't sound like I'm wheezing to death. With that out of the way, let's talk about the watch that I am going to review today. Now, you may remember last year I reviewed a watch from a company called Radcliffe, and it was their first watch, the Haxel. Now, they are a company from Oxford in England, a nice new micro brand. And I said at the end of that video, I can't wait to see what they do next. And I was right to say that, because today I have the next release in from Radcliffe, and it is their Tsunami diver. And genuinely, it is absolutely fantastic. So, all the relative links for this watch are in the description. Check them out if you would like to know any more. But without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's get into this review. So this is Radcliffe's Tsunami diver. Now, before we start talking about the watch itself, let me just tell you that there will be some updates to this prototype. The Kickstarter campaign will go live in February 2022. So there is a good amount of time to recover after your Christmas purchases and then pick this one up. Speaking of which, I am to believe that it will be starting on early bird prices around. I'm sure I'll be corrected if wrong in the comments by the guys at Radcliffe, but that's what I think it's going to go out at. And for that, you're getting a lot of a watch. They've suggested making some changes to the branding. What that'll be, I'm not too sure, but that'll be to the dial and the crown here. So definitely keep up to date with their Instagram posts if you're interested in this one. I think you should be interested in this one, especially this colour option. Now, one thing that Radcliffe do really well is produce really fantastic colour options for their watches. This one is no exception. I love this yellow dial, but they do a couple of other nice options. Also a grey and light blue, I believe, is on offer, and that one does also look quite nice. If you want to check that one out, I think what Dan over at Watch Me With Watches has got that one in for review. Definitely check out his channel for it. So let's talk about the watch itself. Diameter, 42.7 millimeters in diameter I have it here. It wears much more like a 42. However, it's 13.2 millimeters thick, including the bezel and case back. We have a 49.1 millimeter lug to lug distance and 22 millimeter lugs. It is a bit of a strap monster, this one. I have had it on a couple of other strap options. I've swapped back to this lovely engineer bracelet for the review, but it does wear very well on other straps also. It is packed with a 9000 series Miyota movement, and we know that I am a fan of those. Just now it's a little bit of the 8215. Hate that thing. Swiss Lume, absolutely fantastic package for the price, which is what I kind of expect from Radcliffe after their first release of the Haxel. So let's talk a little bit more in depth on this casing. It has plenty of brushing throughout. As you can see down the sides of this case here, we have drilled lugs for ease of switching out this bracelet. The brushing is a very good level. However, you will expect it to get better in production. This is a prototype after all. It's a very simple yet robust and rugged type of case design on this one. That's what you're looking for in a diver, really. It's very well built, very chunky, very heavy watch. It does have a lot of substance to it. This crown has a really nice level of nailing to the side of it, and we have a loomed signature in the center. I will show you that in the loom shot shortly. As we look at the back of this watch, rotate it slightly, you can see the Tsunami wave in the center, which is really well engraved onto this case back. Very nice design piece on here. Now, obviously, you're not going to be looking at the case back too much, but it is still nice to have that little bit of a flare of design on the back there. We do have the usual information on the outer edge of the case back. This is a screw down case back. You can see at the end of the lugs there, either side, these are quick release bars on this bracelet. Makes it very easy to swap out the bracelet on the go. As we move to the bezel, it is a very secure fitted, very precise bezel movement on this one. Now it's 120 click, as you'd expect from a diver. We have some really nice gear-shaped effect around the outer edge. Makes it very easy to grip onto this bezel. I really like the bezel design itself. Almost reminds me of a IWC aqua timer, if you get what I mean there. We have the triangle up at the 12 o'clock there with 5-minute indices throughout the rest. Now, we have this dive indicator in yellow on the side, which I really do like. That does give a really nice piece of design feature to it. It really does go aesthetically well with this watch. This is going to be a ceramic bezel insert in production. We are also treated to a slightly domed sapphire crystal in this one, and that has 10 layers of anti-reflective coating, as you may be able to catch there. Very nice blue tinge, but it doesn't really obstruct from the watch in regular daylight, which is good news for us all. Altogether, this watch is provided with 300 meters of water resistance between the screw down crown, the casing itself, and the screw down case back, which I think is more than enough to be able to call this a dive watch. 1,000 foot of water resistance. You're probably not going to get there, are you? So we're safe. Now, as we move into the dial itself, you can see that's a really striking dial, that yellow. Very much in a bumblebee type of effect, this watch, and I am a big fan of that aesthetic, that type of colour option. I did ask very politely if I could get the yellow one in for review, because yeah, I do love a yellow dial watch. It's just, there's just something about them. Yellow dials, orange dials, exotic dials, it's just something about them. Now, this is a sandwich dial that we're treated to here. We do have a Swiss BGW9 Lume applied to the under dial and the handset. I will show you that shortly. We have rather large batons for the indices, cutaway batons for the indices, double baton up at the 12 o'clock, and tucked away nicely at the 6 we have the date window. I do like a 6 o'clock date window. It is a negative date window with the black and white, but I think that goes quite well with this colour option. I think it's much better than the white over the alternative of white option on this one. We have a bold minute track around the outer edge of the dial and an even bolder black edge to the dial. Now, I think that really does give it a little bit of depth. It's almost like a, the racetrack that you get around certain stadiums in football. It almost frames the watch really nicely. I quite like that. Tsunami print at the 12 o'clock with this logo. As I say, we are expecting a slight branding change from Radcliffe, so keep up to date with that. Down at the bottom, we have automatic and a reminder that I have forgotten an aspect of this case. This case packs a helium release valve, which will be an interesting feature for you divers out there. Personally, I just think it's a nice feature to have on a watch. It's not something I'm ever going to use because you're not going to see me in the water, especially not with a watch on my wrist. Below the helium release valve print, we have 30 ATM 1000 foot, which reminds us of this dive capability of this watch. The handset itself is very bold, very angular. I really do like it. We have a yellow outer edge to the minute hand, a bold black tip to the hour hand with this white outer edge border. Centers are loomed, and we have a paddle second hand with a mixture of different colours there. The yellow, black, white really goes well, really makes a little feature of that second hand. The Lume signature on this watch is absolutely fantastic. I'll show you the crown there, even that's loomed, reminiscent of a Zalos, isn't it? The Lume on the lower dial, on this sandwich dial, is just brilliant. It's Swiss BGW9 Lume on this one, and it's very well applied throughout the bezel. Also, it's not fading very much. Perfect for a dive watch. And very large indices to apply it to, which means that the Lume signature itself is very easy to read. Yeah, big fan of this one, and the Lume just really does do it justice. Yeah, fantastic watch. As we move from the head of the watch to this bracelet, we have an engineer style bracelet on this one. Very nice fit to wrist. We have double pusher clasp, all brushed throughout. Milled clasp on this one, and as you'd expect, little milled clasp dive extension also. The Tsunami logo is engraved into the clasp there. I do believe they were looking to change the clasp also. That information will again be in the Kickstarter, so watch out for that. Now the real test for this watch is the fit to wrist, so let me take mine off and we'll see how it looks on my 6.2 inch wrists. So this is the Tsunami on wrist. It is a bigger watch, it is a chunky dive watch. However, it does fit very nicely to wrist. I really like these engineer bracelets, very substantial fit to them, very substantial feel. A lot of weight in there that counteracts the head of the watch because that is a weighty watch also. To start off my moan section, I will start with the bracelet itself actually. Now I really do like it. However, I'm a bit skeptical of this end link. It kind of, to me, it doesn't fit as well as the rest of the bracelet with the watch. I think they probably need a bit more angle in there. A few more angles would suit it much more. Secondly, I am going to mention the size because obviously it is a huge watch and that's not going to be for everyone. As well as the colours, they're not always going to be for everyone either. Third, the change in branding. I kind of like the branding, so I don't know what they're actually going to do with it. However, if I like it now, I may not like it in the future. So it's definitely one that you're going to have to look at after they've made those decisions and made those changes to make sure that you're still interested in it. That's what I'll be doing. But overall, this watch itself is absolutely fantastic. Very well built, very well produced, and I can't wait to see the production models of this. As I say, this is just a prototype. They will be getting in plenty more reviews before the actual release in February. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think this will be a hit next year, just like the Haxel was. So guys, Radcliffe's follow-up to Haxel is just as good in my opinion, if not slightly better, to be honest, because the pricing I think is even better than the Haxel's was. I think the Haxel was around 200-ish, or over 200 maybe. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to do all of this and make a profit. I really don't, because 9000 series Myota, very well built watch. That Lume's fantastic. I wouldn't be shocked if they're not making a profit on this one, to be fair. But that's a win for us, I think. So if you're interested in this one, sign up to the Kickstarter reminder on their website. That's linked below. Check out their social media pages. They do have an upcoming release. I think they've actually just launched it a couple of days ago or yesterday, something like that. I am going to be getting one of them into. They look absolutely fantastic. Brilliant guilloche style dial on them. Check out the social media pages. That's as much as I'm going to say from there. Thank you to Radcliffe for sending this one in to me. It's really nice to see these micro brands start to develop, the ones that I reviewed earlier in this whole thing. And I've seen that from a decent few lately. A lot from last year are coming out with their second ones, even third, fourth at the moment. And it's really exciting to see that market sort of develop really nicely. Thank you for watching this one, guys. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.